So Masvidal has something known as a hit list. He put it out. There was 3 names on it. I can't even remember 2 of them, but I'm going to get to the third because I remember this. He called out Canelo Alvarez, the sitting reigning multi-division world boxing champion. Canelo's only lost 1 fight ever. 21 years old when he lost it, and it was to a guy named Floyd Mayweather. And while he was dominated, it's his only loss, and the guy was named Floyd Mayweather, and Canelo was 21. I'm going to say that all for you a second time so you can put those pieces together. So Canelo's a very special talent. And I am condescending in case you don't watch boxing and you didn't know that. Masvidal called him out. And that's not brand new, where the MMA guy calls out the boxer, or the boxer wants to call out the MMA guy, but it's under the boxer's rules. That isn't new. It's just one of those things that, as many times as that has happened, we just have really not seen it more than we could count on one hand, right? James Toney came over. He showed some real courage, did MMA against Randy Couture. Tim Sylvia took on, was it Ray Mercer? But Conor went over and fought Floyd. And as much as, the Mercer and the Toney and the Couture and the Silva is fun to talk about, that wasn't mega crazy, stop what you're doing, sports, news, or business. Conor versus Floyd was. It was all of those things. It was a very special spectacle. And you have to look at, why did that work? Why did Conor fight Floyd, and why were people captivated by that? And yeah, a lot of it was the dialogue. A lot of it was their ability to come out and energize their bases and sell that fight. Sure. It then went on to deliver as this absolutely fantastic contest that lasted a half of an hour. That was supposed to last less than 3 minutes. It lasted a half of an hour. The fact that it lasted a half of an hour and was very competitive and fun to watch isn't why it worked. That was something that happened after the fact. Once the building's full and the pay-per-views are, whatever happens after that isn't part of why it works. So let's take a look. Timing mattered. The fact that Conor was on top of the world in one sport, willing to leave that sport, come play by Floyd's rules at the weight class that Floyd wanted, in Floyd's arena, in Floyd's hometown. I mean, that sure helped. That sure got Floyd to say, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. So now both of these guys with big voices, the mandate of the masses, with entire sports on the line, came together. Okay. But why hasn't it happened for anybody else? Jose Aldo was talking about it. He wanted to go and box. I mean, we've had a number of guys do it by example. It never left square one. Matter of fact, Conor wanted to go and fight Pacquiao, never left the ground. De La Hoya wanted to come over and fight Conor, never left the ground. Why? I don't know that I can answer that question completely, but I can tell you, when you see something, you know you have something, and there is something to Canelo versus Masvidal. Masvidal is in a very unique position right now that I do not think he is aware of. I don't think Masvidal realizes that anything is different in his life or career. He woke up last week trying to make weight, knowing he was going to have to go out there and put it on the line against somebody for 25 minutes. Do the best that he could, walk away, live with the result. That's what he got out there and did. I think he's waking up today in the same exact position. Well, I got to recover so I can get to the gym, so I can get a new contract, so I can make weight again, so I go out, fight somebody as hard as I can, live with the result. I think that's what he's thinking, but he is wrong. He is wrong. The landscape of George Masvidal has changed tremendously. He, I believe, is officially the number one contender. Would that be true? That if he wants to fight the winner of Kamaru Colby, he will be given that opportunity. Is that true? I think you guys would agree with me. But he doesn't have to go fight the winner of Kamaru Colby. He has a title. Mission accomplished. Got in this sport, up to that division, took big risks to win a belt. He has the belt. He can now go after big fights, and there is something about him versus Canelo that just works. It just does. As soon as he said, I'm going, oh my goodness. Now, I'm not predicting for you guys that you're going to see that fight. The logistics of how are we going to do it and where are we going to do it are going to be tough. When Masvidal fights in the UFC and Canelo was exclusive on DAZN, but Dana worked that out with Showtime once before. He could work it out again. So I think that it's very interesting. Now, Canelo's going to have to respond, but I have a feeling Canelo's going to take the bait the same as Floyd did, thinking, what are you talking about? That guy's very good at what he does. He's willing to give up half of his arsenal, come over to my field and do it under my rules. Yeah, I'll take that all day. All day, any day, I take that deal. So, okay, great. Masvidal's already said he's in. He's the one that issued the challenge. I would suspect that Canelo is in. Now the question is, do the fans want it? Do they want it enough to put heat on the promotion? So, and again, I'm having fun over here visiting with you guys. I am by no means predicting we're going to see this fight, but of all the call-outs that I've seen of MMA guys going after boxers, that just rolls right off the shoulder, it didn't make any sense, it was clumsy in the first place, there seemed to be something different, feel-wise, energy-wise, believable-wise, that George would have a shot at this thing of some level with the call-out of Canelo. Canelo was also very topical when George did it. Canelo fought the same night George did. George is on the East Coast fighting at MSG. Canelo's over in Las Vegas at T-Mobile fighting right then, same night. So two topical guys. And the X's and O's of that, boy, Masvidal better get his ass kicked. I mean, he better. He's going to leave all of his tools behind and go into a sport that's all Canelo knows and does. Oh, and by the way, Canelo's the champion of the world in that sport. He better get his ass kicked. But if you go back and you look at Conor versus Floyd, it doesn't necessarily work that way. The MMA guys throw shots from different angles. It's not what the boxers are used to. And you saw Floyd out there scrambling, working to figure it out, to catch up, to do the math, to do the geometry, to see where these angles are coming from, and eventually figure it out. But you also saw it took Floyd about 30 minutes to figure it out. I mean, it starts to get a little bit compelling. And then when you add in the fact that this is what George knows best. George started as a striker, MMA and the grappling and the wrestling. That all came later in life. He started with just stand-up fights. Ultimately, should George go out there and be able to beat Canelo? No. Could George get some minutes in? Could George move around and give him some real problems? Enough that it would make you stop what you're doing to tune in? Yeah. Yeah, of course it would.
On the feet, or on the ground, undefeated, never lost a round. Biggest arms in the city of Westland, undisputed, GOAT king of wrestling. Tito tapped, Fado quit. John Jones broke a toe and had to sit. Anderson got mauled and bashed, and the bad guy made off with a bag of cash. Oh, and by the way, let me offer this. Chael knows just how good Conor McGregor is, and he knows into all this where Kevin Lee fits, but he'll never reveal the secrets to business. Uncle Chael, Uncle Chael, Uncle Chael, Iranami, Uncle Chael, Uncle Chael, Uncle Chael, the